what these differences create are differences in what economists have called land leverage, which is how much feed-through you get to house prices from a given change in land prices. And obviously in the areas where the land share is high, that feed-through is very high, and it makes house prices quite volatile. So here's a little example which probably isn't easy to see, but basically the bullet points just say that the percent change in house prices, because housing is a bundled combination of land and structures, are just a weighted average of the change in the structures price and the change in the land price, or the weights are just the share of each of those in the house price. So when the land share is high, in this example where I have land prices rising 100% and structures prices rising 20%, when the land share is 80%, the house price rises a lot because there's a lot of weight being put in that market on the 100% rise in land prices, and house prices rise 85%. Conversely, in areas where the land share is small, in this example it's 20%, the rise in house prices is only 40%. So even if there were no differences in the magnitude of the land price swings across the country, which is not true as we've just seen, but just stipulating that, even if there were none, the fact is that in markets mostly along the coast, where land prices represent a large share of property value, the house price swings in those areas are going to be larger because it's the land prices that are really moving around, and they're important in those markets. So now let me summarize the last part of the talk, and that is really that, in my opinion, land is the key element in real estate cycles because that is the price that is the real estate price that's volatile. And the metro areas that have high land shares, mostly on the coast, not exclusively, but mostly, are susceptible to run-ups and collapses in real estate prices that are not shared by markets that have lower land shares. And so, from my way of looking at things, it's really critical that appraisals separately estimate land value and structure value, because it's important to know how much the property value is really depending on the volatile part of the property, which is the land, and how much of it depends on the relatively stable part, which is the structure value. And the implication is that lenders should be careful and should be conservative in lending against land value because it is volatile.